What's up, guys? Welcome to another video where I go through a grading experiment that I went through, where I took a bunch of singles, bunch of promos of a specific card, sent them off to PSA, bought a bunch in bulk, tried to get a bunch of PSA 10s, and either found moderate success or failed miserably. What happened this time? Let's find out. This time we're talking about Victini 208, the poster collection Victini promo. Was it a poster collection? I literally never bought one of these boxes or saw them on store shelves, but basically I sourced all of these Victini promos from a friend who buys a lot of product, breaks it down, sells the packs to streamers, so on and so forth. And I trust this person. They have not searched through these promos. They did not search through these promos. And I thought it was a good opportunity to buy a lot of them and resell the ones that could not 10 and grade the ones that could. And what happened? Well, let's find out. First, just go through a little bit of the math. I bought 120 copies of this Victini. I bought them, I believe, at about $7. I tried to go back through the messages and I could not find exactly what I paid, but if I remember correctly, I bought 120 copies at $7 a piece. This was about a month after this product release. This card has kind of fluctuated if you check out the last 6 months. It was like 14, then it crashed to around 6, I think. So I made this submission around November, or these are actually a couple of submissions, right? But anyways, yeah, bought 120 copies at $7. I was able to sell the raw copies, again, with the price fluctuating. I sold them on eBay after fees and shipping. I netted $8.77 each. So I did turn a small profit, $1.77 on each copy of the promo raw. So 14 of the 120 copies that I purchased, I deemed likely or a decent chance to get a PSA 10. And so I sent 14 copies split between 3 different submissions. And here are the results of those Victini submissions. Before I go further, if you do like this content, please subscribe. I'm getting a decent amount of views, but not a ton of subscribers. So I'm going to do many more of these grading experiments. If you want to check them out in the future, please join the Magnum Mike crew and press that subscribe button. Yep. So, zero out of 14 Victinis, a whole bunch of PSA 9s. And that was how the cookie crumbled on this guy. So here's kind of my thought process, right? IR promos are incredibly difficult to grade. IRs in general are fairly difficult to grade, especially recently since PSA's made grading more difficult. They're much more strict about the whitening on corners and such. And IRs used to be able to get away with a little bit of whitening on corners, and that is no longer the case. So I sent a bunch of these. I thought I would get maybe a couple 10s, and I did not. Now, the 10 price on this card has crashed quite a bit as well. Like right when this thing came out, 10s were going for like upwards of $300. Now I think that they're kind of down to 120, 150. Don't quote me on that. I didn't look into that before recording this video, but I know that they have dropped quite a bit. So I'm not entirely heartbroken about this, especially because I did turn a profit on the raw copies, and I did send a small handful of these off to CGC. Granted, the CGC 10 is only like $45, so like nominal profits sending them to CGC from the PSA 9, but I figured, what the hell, why not? I needed to hit that 25 card minimum for a CGC order anyways, so maybe I'll cover that in a future CGC video. But just to go through a few of these certs, you will see a common theme here, and that is a little bit of whitening on the corners. I don't know why the zoom in is like so off right here, but yeah, so this edge also did not look great. I might have missed that, to be honest. But yeah, on a couple of these, we just got a little bit of whitening. Relatively clean otherwise. This is another one, pretty well centered. And you take a look at the back, and, good corner, solid corner, tiny bit of whitening here, and a solid corner here. Like, I would really swear that, like, a year or two ago, this would have hit a 10, but PSA has gotten stricter. I think the further you get into the certs, the 12, 13, 14 certs have been more difficult to hit a 10 with, especially IRs. And yeah, I don't know if it's gonna get any easier. They are definitely trying to limit demand here. Here's another 9. Again, maybe slightly top heavy, but overall, well within the PSA centering standards. And again, you'll see maybe a little bit of whitening, maybe a little bit of whitening there, a little bit of whitening here, a little bit of whitening here. And then finally, I want to show this copy. Again, well centered, and, nominal whitening on the corners. Again, pretty clean, but the standards for IRs are certainly high. Also in this video, I want to show you a Victini that did get a PSA 10 in a recent cert, just to show you how much of a crapshoot PSA really is, right? So this got a 10. It's a 13 cert, a little bit earlier than my 14 cert Victinis. Honestly, a little bit right heavy, but we'll give it a pass on the centering. And if you look at the back, we got a small speck of whitening there, maybe. Some significant whitening edge wear there, and like a piece of whitening there for sure. Like, this is not any better than the cards I showed you that I sent, and I would even argue that it's a little bit worse than some of them, if not all of them. So what's the point here? PSA, I mean, if you don't know by now, it is just a crapshoot, man. Like, you really have to. I mean, I get that there's the human element of grading, but there isn't a ton of consistency right now. And it's frustrating because they're raising their prices, because a lot of money, it costs a lot of money to grade, 20 card minimum submission, $25 a card plus shipping and insurance, man. It's not cheap. So it sucks that there's like this level of inconsistency with their grading. But it's just kind of the hand that we're dealt right now. My takeaway from this is IR promos. I mean, unless that thing is crispy beyond a shadow of a doubt, zero whitening, and centered as perfectly as you can possibly imagine, don't send it, man. I mean, don't send it. Sell it to somebody else on auction who thinks it'll 10. I don't know. I mean, you could send it, but it's really a gamble. Like, we are gambling here. Like, look at this. These corners are just not that great. And this thing got a 10. And, my 9s are not really any worse. Like, this 9 is quite clearly a better card than the 10. Which is frustrating. I would have loved to get one 10 out of the 14. Like, that would have been a great consolation prize. But I got a big old goose egg. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how this thing goes. It is a gamble. My really, like, what I've learned from this, like I said, is like IR promos are tough. IRs in general are tough, but IR promos, especially, the quality control is not good. And with PSA raising their prices, I'm really only trying to send valuable cards with high margin that I feel very strongly about their PSA 10 prices. There's no more like, oh, I'm 60 to 70 to 80% sure this will 10. It's worth it to try. I mean, with the amount they're charging and the inconsistencies, I really think that you have to feel like 95% sure a card's going to get a PSA 10 at this point. And if you've looked at it twice, 3 times, look at it a 4th time before you send it, because, yeah, it's a lot of money, and you really don't know what kind of grader you're going to get, and you don't know what kind of day they're going to have, and it is, for all intents and purposes, a complete crapshoot. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. I appreciate you watching. Yeah, we got more grading videos coming soon. So, like I said, if you could subscribe, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, I will catch you later. Everybody, enjoy ripping perfect order. Good luck on your grading submissions, and we'll talk to you next time. Adios.